Hello everyone, my name is VXROSE and today we'll be ranking every single superhero movie. I have seen every single one of them because superhero movies have shaped my childhood, probably just like you. And I have a list right below me of all these superhero movies in order with also the date of release so that you can follow along with me a little bit easier. And first of all, we're gonna start this one with a very easy ranking. This is the second Spider-Man of the animated movies, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It is top 3 superhero movies of all time. And I'm talking animated and live action. I'm talking end games on that list for me. And this is still top 3. So this is an easy S tier. If you haven't seen it before, please go watch it. It's actually really good. Okay, and then next we have the first Ant-Man from 2015. I actually really like the VFX in this movie, so that's gonna give it a B for me. I think the story was, I think it was just Marvel trying to introduce a new character in a funny way. And there's a meme about him never aging, and it's so true. Looks like we got the next Ant-Man, Ant-Man and the Wasp, 2018. This one, I think it has some moments that are really cool. I think it explains the technology a little bit better, but I'm not a big fan of this movie, so I'm gonna put it in D because it's just really not that good of a movie to me. And Quantumania. Now, I know a lot of you are just gonna see this and just go, this movie needs to be in D. And you're right, it's really not that good of a movie. I thought that it was kind of weird that they were introducing Kang as a villain and then they just kind of let him get beat up by Ant-Man, which was even like one of the main Avengers. I don't know, just had a lot of weird stuff in it. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you're looking for a movie to watch, you can probably just go ahead and skip that one. Aquaman. Now, a lot of people really like this movie. I didn't. That's an easy ranking. I didn't. Yeah, as simple as that. 2018 Aquaman, really not that great. Birds of Prey. I also did not like this. I promise you guys, I do actually like some of these movies. They're just coming later in the list. All right, The Batman. If you've watched any other video on my channel, you know by now, I absolutely love Batman. I'm dead serious. I actually do love Batman. So this is an A for me. It is a great detective movie that tells a different side. It tells a story for Batman that we haven't seen before, which is that detective side. And I'm really happy that we got that. And I'm very excited for the next movie. And I think it's really close to being S tier. But if you've watched one of my other rankings, if I could see it in A tier, then it belongs in A tier. And S tier can only be seen in S tier. Do you agree with that? All right. Next, we'll be going to Batman Begins 2005. All right. Batman Begins 2005 is a Christopher Nolan movie, which earns it S tier. And that Christopher Nolan is just a great director. But seriously, I think this movie and every single version of Batman that's trying to tell like Batman and media and stuff, this movie's referenced. I mean, this movie just put Batman on the live action screen to me the same way they did with Iron Man in the first Iron Man movie. I think it just accurately represented the character and kind of put his new spin on it, but it was still Batman. All right, next we have another very controversial movie. Batman vs. Superman is a very loved and hated movie. I knew a guy that knew Ben Affleck and he said that he was a dick. But I just think it's kind of cool that I have a kind of like a small connection to Ben Affleck. I like to gaslight myself and think that, which is cool. Small connection to Batman. But we're going to put this movie, just kidding, I'm not going to put it in S. We're going to put it in C. I think there is worse than it, but it's not mediocre enough to be B. And Black Adam. I think this movie actually is underrated. When did Black Adam come out? 2022. I think 2022 movies maybe should have been a little better, but I think this movie's a little bit underrated. I don't think a lot of people like seeing The Rock is a superhero, which I think turned some people away from the movie. But for me, I think it could have been worse. There was actually some moments that I liked about that movie. Like, I like the end fight scene, and this was, I really do like the kid in this movie. Like, I feel like The Rock and that kid actually had some chemistry. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought The Rock's interaction with that kid was kind of like some of the best like interactions, and it really made me believe that there could be a good Shazam and Black Adam crossover with that specifically. And I feel like we never got that payoff from the hype that this movie had. Like, the whole purpose of this movie to me was to get that Shazam and Black Adam payoff that we literally never got. And with the Shazam final like the end trailer, you know, that Marvel does at the end, it showed Superman like pulling up to the lunch table, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get this classic, you know, the animated Black Adam Superman movie that I loved as a kid. I was like, this is gonna be the best live action ever. Like, literally Henry Cavill and The Rock fighting two massive dudes would have been awesome to see on camera. It was just a good director. I mean, imagine James Gunn doing that. I mean, there would have been probably a lot more people involved in the filming side and the superhero side, because James Gunn loves having lots of people, but I thought it would have been really good. All right, now we have the Black Widow movie. This movie kind of came too late, honestly. Like, after Endgame, I thought it should have came before Endgame, but I mean, who can really complain? Endgame was great. So this movie's so bad, it's got me thinking of reminiscent on Endgame. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and throw that one in D, honestly. Not too much more to say about that. 2021. All right, now we have Captain America, the First Avenger, coming out in 2011. This is a very, very good movie. Now, is this an S tier movie? Does this look right? Yeah, that does look right. I don't know if I could see this movie in A. Do you agree? I just don't think I could see this movie in A. All right, now we have... All right, now we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Sorry, we're kind of doing these a little bit out of order, but we have to follow the list down below just for the people like watching along. So I might have to grab some of these movies a little bit out of order, but I promise you to be okay. Just follow this list and you know what's coming next. All right, so this movie came out in 2023. The ending of this movie had the dark days over. You know what I'm talking about? I thought that was really good. I thought it was a great send-off. A great director, James Gunn. Shout out to you. This is an A movie. I feel like it's not S tier because it didn't like redefine or just like, I don't know. It's a great movie, but there's movies I would watch ahead of it. And honestly, it looks pretty right next to the Batman, to be honest. All right, now we have Civil War. Captain America Civil War. I always forget that this movie is is literally a Captain America movie. This movie came out in 2016, peak year. So many amazing things happened in 2016, but I'm a really, really big fan of this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, you need to go watch it. You need to go watch the whole Infinity Saga and all the Spider-Man movies, and then just hopefully the next. And honestly, after that, just go watch Invincible. Honestly, save yourself some headache. All right, this is an S tier movie. This is an S tier movie. This movie is the only superhero movie that pins superheroes against each other and did it correctly that I've ever seen. And honestly, for that reason alone, I believe it deserves an S tier because it did something that no movie has been able to pull off before or after. All right, now we have the first Deadpool, which arguably is the best Deadpool and is maybe Ryan Reynolds' best film. I love Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. His voice, charisma that he gives to this character is just beautiful. And now I see him in these Mint Mobile ads and I'm like, bro, throw on a Deadpool costume for these Mint Mobile ads. So I don't want to waste your time. It's an A. And it's just simply an A. All right, now we have Deadpool 2. Let me go and find it. All right, looks like they just used the same cover art. You can see it all the way down there. Let me move it up, get it back to the top. All right, Deadpool 2, slightly worse of a movie, but not a bad movie. So we're going to put it at B because it could have been better. It's kind of a mid movie to me. Like, there are better superhero movies to watch. And then we have Doctor Strange number 17. All right, Mr. Doctor Strange. The first Doctor Strange movie, I think, opened the world of the MCU a lot, which I do think gives it some props for the movie, because that's pretty impressive just what one character can do. I think it is the character archetype that did that with like the magic and everything, but also the right, like, you had to pick the right person for that. I really, really, really enjoy this. I think this is peak Marvel era, so I'm going to go ahead and give that one an A. And this came out in 2016. All right, next we have the original Suicide Squad coming out in 2021. And for most people, they would say that this is easily a D. For me, I think this movie is underrated. I'm just kidding. I gotta stop doing that. It's not an S. It's maybe a C, but that even feels wrong. But the second one was really good. Which that one, yeah, we'll get to that one when we get to it. But yeah, no, this movie really isn't that great. But I do like Will Smith as Deadshot, and I thought the Joker was portrayed actually really good in that movie. Even though it was the Jared Leto Joker, I just like him hanging on the helicopter. Just that seems very Joker, you know? Like, we get Joker like Christopher Nolan did it, or sorry, Heath Ledger, who played the Joker, did a great job with that. But oh, this is a hot take. This is a hot enough take that I hope people don't click off the video. Hey, if you're still watching, you're one of few. So shout out to you. All right. And now we have number 19. We have Morbius. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, save yourself some trouble. This is not a good movie. It did not perform well at the box office. It did not perform well with the fans. It was kind of weird. It didn't really feel like it had its place, but I'm sure there's people out there that actually do really like this movie. Like, I could see a target audience out there that thinks this movie is like actually kind of good, but unfortunately I'm not one of those people. All right, now we have Doctor Strange MOM, which means Multiverse of Madness, and that's right here. Easy find. I think Wanda's character is kind of all over the place in this, which maybe kind of makes sense because she's just kind of like all over the place. Maybe that's just like, maybe that was actually portrayed right. Yeah, I think that it's a C. Yeah, honestly, these are actually kind of similar for me, which is crazy too. Kind of like I was talking about, like, there's people that think this movie is like here. Like, that just does not seem right to me, like, at all. All right, and now we have Suicide Squad. Oh my God, there's multiples in here. I'm just gonna drop all the multiples at the bottom. But for this one, for number 21, not the 2016 Suicide Squad, we're gonna be ranking this one, the second Suicide Squad, which actually was a pretty good movie. I thought it introduced a lot of cool characters, and this was the movie that made me believe that John Cena could truly be an actor on the big Hollywood screens, and really, like, I believed in him after this movie. So this one's really torn between me. This is the first one that's like, actually, I don't know where it goes, because I could actually see them both. It's either low A or high B, in my opinion. Like, honestly, it feels better next to Ant-Man. Like, this actually feels a little closer to right. Now, we have the most boring Thor movie of them all, Thor Love and Thunder. This is a very slow-paced, methodical, it felt like a filler episode if it was a movie. I remember going to see this movie as a kid, and I had to pee in the middle of the movie, and I came back and literally nothing happened. So I'm gonna give it a D. All right, Fantastic Four 2015. This is the worst Fantastic Four movie ever created, so it'll be lower. I couldn't even see this one on the same tier as any of the other Fantastic Four movies, and we don't even really have... I actually do like the new one that came out. I thought it was pretty good. Was it better than Superman? I don't know. You'll just have to wait till I rank Superman. But I'm not a fan of this movie. I'm really not. Michael B. Jordan's in it. I do like Michael B. Jordan in the main character. I forgot his name, but he's in Whiplash. Good movie if you like. It's a movie about music. It's a good movie though. All right, now we have the original Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, this movie kind of reshaped like group superhero movies for me. I do believe this is after the first Avengers came out. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I just loved the team dynamic in it, and it didn't copy what Avengers did. It was its own thing, and every single Guardians of the Galaxy movie hit for literally that reason. I mean, this second one was probably the weakest, which we will rank later for the reasons that I will say later. But this movie belongs here. I mean, let's be honest. This movie's better than Civil War. But like, Civil War did what literally everyone's wanted to do, and it just like did it. Like, Civil War deserves to be an S. Like, come on now. Like, let's be so for real. All right, now we have Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I don't know why the list says Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's tweaking. So we're just going to go ahead, and this is a good one. Not a big fan of the whole dad thing being like a planet, but it was interesting. I do really like trying new things, but I don't think all of them hit. I think it could have been portrayed better. I actually don't think this is the worst movie ever. I think like I said, I think all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies have their place and have their reason in the MCU. So we're going to go ahead and put this one at B. All right. Now we have the Incredible Hulk before Hulk got rebooted. And this was like, which I didn't know at the time, was my first exposure to the MCU because it came out like so much earlier than everything else. And they've rebooted them. So it's like, it's hard for me to even like count this as the MCU, but technically this is the MCU. Do you think this is the MCU? I don't know. But this is an interesting movie. I think it's B or C. It's either low B or high C, honestly. And I think I'm going to have to put it at C. I think it's better than Suicide Squad, but I would say Batman and Superman is better than Hulk. And then at the end of this, I will be organizing them a little bit better. All right, now we have the first Iron Man, which came out in 2008, a revolutionary movie for superheroes. So obviously this is an S tier. If you don't agree with that, you might just be wrong, honestly. I mean, superhero movies wouldn't be here today without specifically this movie jump-starting the franchise. Robert Downey Jr., let's go. Hey, if he plays Doctor Doom good, I mean, shoot, like especially after getting all that hate, because it's like, it's so easy to just jump onto the hate and be like, he shouldn't be like Doctor Doom and he shouldn't be that person. But it's like, I haven't even seen him on screen. I guess there was a little sneak peek at the end of Fantastic Four, but I can see the criticism that they really could have got somebody else. But hey, new mask, same task. Followed up with that, we're running through the Iron Mans. We have Iron Man 2. The War Machine's really cool in this. The bad guy's not as cool. I'm going to go ahead and give this movie a B. It's worth watching. You got to get through the whole Iron Man series, but is this movie genuinely like an outstanding movie? No, not really. Iron Man 3 kind of gets even worse, but the suits at the end are really cool. You get to see all the suits that Tony made and the names, and his love interest is even more prominent in it. So I think these kind of rank together. These are kind of the same for me. All right, now we're on to the 2019 Joker movie. This is not... I have one problem with this movie, and it kind of ruins the whole movie for me. And it's like 2 seconds. And you might say, hey, VXROSE, that's not fair. You can't say the whole movie's bad from 2 seconds. But the Joker in this movie is a full adult, and Bruce Wayne's parents get killed in the movie. And so Bruce is a kid and the Joker is a full adult, which I guess the Joker in this universe could just be a lot older than Batman, which I guess, that's a different rendition on it, different take. But the movie actually does some things right. So I'm going to move it up to C. There is actually some things I do really like about the movie, like the cinematography and the story it actually tells for the Joker of like a broken person and how society is what influences a broken person, I think is pretty accurate. Like why someone would go insane, and it's not because they're an insane person, but because the world makes you insane. Like human beings were not supposed to have their like backs against the wall. Like if you have a dog and you push its back against the wall, it's gonna bite you. And that's kind of like the theme of the movie. Wow, that was really well put. If we weren't 26 minutes into this recording, I would have to put that in at the intro. All right, now we have the Lego Batman movie coming out in 2017. This is the best adaptation that we've seen of Batman on the live screen, getting everything accurate about him. This is an S tier movie because I absolutely love Batman. And this movie is hilarious, and this movie tells Batman in the correct light, completely accurate, and it is fun for all ages. Watch this movie no matter what age you are. Now we have the 2017 Justice League movie, and I'm gonna say that the Snyder Cut and the original, if you're ranking off the original, this is an easy D. I mean, the movie's not even worth watching. It's just a long, boring mess. And then you have the Snyder Cut's version. And the Snyder Cut's version's actually pretty cool. Like, I think it has merit for being there. It's really, really long. It feels like it was only that long because it just never got cut. I feel like it wasn't supposed to be like this 3-hour long movie. I feel like they just know that audiences don't want to sit that long in a theater. That's especially if like you don't have like a good reason for them to be there. Like I feel like this movie didn't like have a reason to be there for 3 hours. When I watched this movie, I actually, for the first time, I watched the first half of it one night going to bed, and then the next night going to bed, I watched the other half. So if we're ranking it off the Zack Snyder version, which we are, because if not, it's just simply a D, then I'm going to give it a C, because I think the Zack Snyder version improved upon some things. It did get some audience feedback, kind of an unfair advantage, but, we're not rating on the marketing tactics. We're rating on the movie itself, and I got to give it a C. All right, next up on our list we have Eternals. Yeah, this movie right here was the first movie that made me realize the MCU can make bad movies. I'm not even joking. This movie actually made me realize that the MCU could make some pretty trash movies. I thought everything they put out before this was gold. That's actually how bad I thought Eternals was. It doesn't even make sense in the grand scheme of things. Like, I do not care. Like, okay, it tied in with some of the shows. I don't care. I don't want to watch every single Marvel show that's ever been created. Like, I think it's great. Like, it's part of the universe, but like, let's keep the important movies with like, let's have some branding that like collides those together. I don't know what the word is, but I'm lost for words with how bad that movie friggin' was. Right now we have the first Man of Steel with Mago Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill, maybe it's just because I grew up and looking at him as Superman, but this man breeds Superman. But there's a new Superman on the horizon. Is he on that? Is he on this list? The new Superman is not on this list, so I'm going to go ahead and spill the tea about how I feel about him. I actually love the new James Gunn Superman way more than this original version of him, and between the Fantastic Four and Superman, because they came out at the same time, I'm one of those people that really loved Superman. When I left the movie theater at Superman, I felt the hope and feeling that Superman like gives, and I thought that was like truly amazing. And it was like after people saw this movie, people wanted to be better people. Like, think about that. Like, that's how good that Superman movie was. All right, now going back to this Superman movie, Man of Steel, I thought portrayed the birth of Superman really cool. We didn't really get that with the new Superman movie. I don't think we really needed that. We've already gotten that. We don't really need that 100 times over. So we're going to go ahead and put this at an A. I really enjoyed it, and there was a lot of cool stuff that came from it, and he lived for a really long time for a good reason. And I think this movie kickstarted a great Superman. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we have The Black Panther. This is a great movie, potentially S tier, but I have to say I'm sorry that I could also see it in A. And you know my rule. I really hate to do this because this movie really could be an S tier. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. What a great actor. And I didn't really know too much about him, but I'm sure he was a great dude. With a great, like, literally, like, I love this movie. And I went to college. Okay, this actually might get us some extra brownie points. I graduated from college recently, and I did VFX. One of my professors, maybe this isn't good because the VFX aren't good in this movie. He worked on a bunch of movies, but this was actually one of the movies that he worked on was Black Panther and Black Panther 2. I know everybody in the comments is going to be like, bro, you don't know VFX. You learned VFX from the Black Panther 2. People are going to be like, I could do better in my basement. All right, now we have The Amazing Spider-Man. I think this is the most underrated Spider-Man suit of all time. I'm not even joking when I say this. I get so tired of hearing about the TASM 2 suit and its beautiful eyes and this and that. And people are like, oh, the bug eyes. But I think he looks menacing, and I love that take on Spider-Man. The fact that Spider-Man can be friendly in neighborhood, but when it like Spider-Man's a strong, like Spider-Man is kind of scary, and I love the way they portrayed him in this movie. I love the colors, I love the story, I love Gwen Stacy in this movie, and it kicked off an amazing like franchise for me. Like I love the TASM. This potentially could be an S tier movie. Let me think about this really hard. Is this an S tier movie? No, this is an A tier movie. I could see it in A. You know my rule. If you can see it in A, it can't be an S tier. Like honestly, like no one's gonna agree with this. Lego Batman's an S tier movie. Just be honest with yourself. Lego Batman is an S tier movie. All right. Next we have freaking Shazam. Where are you, Shazam? You're right here. Wow, I really spotted him out of nowhere. All right, I'm not putting him in C, maybe, potentially, but I'm just moving him up. All right, so Shazam it's a mediocre movie. I actually do really like some things about the Shazam. I liked Shazam before. Actually, my first exposure to Shazam was in the crossover. I'm just going to go ahead and drop this in B before I start talking. My first exposure to Shazam was in the crossover between Marvel and Mortal Kombat. And shout out if you know what I'm talking about. And I think Scorpion fights Shazam, and it is a great iteration. And I was just like, whoa, this kid just turned into a freaking superhero. This is so cool. All right, now we have Shang-Chi, which is another underrated Marvel movie. And I'm really sad that I'm just moving them up. Chill. I'm just really sad that we haven't seen anything since the 10 Rings, and I really want to see more Shang-Chi. It's either A or B for me, and the thing is like I don't know. Like I think it's truly in the middle of either one of these categories. Does it belong next to Guardians in the Galaxy Volume 3 or Black Panther or The Amazing Spider-Man? No, it is gotta be B, honestly. Do you think so? I think it has to be B. I mean, yeah, it's gotta be B. All right, now we have Venom. What tick inside of me every time I hear Venom makes me do that? I think it's Marvel Rivals. It's just like Venom. All right, this was a great movie. I was really surprised when this came out that they portrayed Eddie Brock so well and Venom. There was a amazing balance between the two in this movie, which you just didn't think would be possible. Very sad that we have not seen Venom fight Spider-Man, and the CGI for Venom looked absolutely incredible. And I know there's Venom fans out there. I know that there's a whole fan base for Venom that is very devoted to him. And this movie kicked off the possibilities that we could have for Venom, and it portrayed it really accurately. I mean, we've seen Venom, like Venom is a classic Spider-Man villain, and we've seen him in everything, but we have not seen him fight live action. Hopefully, after Brand New Day, the next, it seems like they're setting up the Sinister Six. Maybe they do like a Sinister Six and then like a Venom. Like that would be so good, because it's like, I'm gonna go ahead and put this at A. I think this is actually, is that right? Or is that a B? Oh my God, hold up. I just dropped that and I don't know if it felt right. Hold up, I gotta drop it here. That doesn't feel right either. Wait, why does that low-key feel right? No, that just feels right because it just fits. Like I think this like makes that feel right. I don't think that it's either one of these. Oh, why is this so hard? Why is this so hard? No, I think what this did for Venom, it's like, I'm trying not to like, I like the dynamic between them, but I think this movie's only actually so good because Venom is just a great character, like in any media. Like he's just really interesting. Okay, but this is what I was talking about. So imagine this. Okay, so imagine Spider-Man Brand New Day is a banger. It does what it needs to do. Got Brent Castle. It's telling these crazy storylines. And then the next two movies I think could be interchangeable, but there's a reason why I would do Sinister Six next. Because I think you could do Sinister Six and do like a really good Sinister Six. You could build up each villain and take a really long time doing it. And that would be really cool. Imagine what they did with like Endgame and how they built up all these people, but literally just for Spider-Man. And the thing is Spider-Man's big enough that you could do that and that would actually work. Like I genuinely believe that would actually work. And that would be really cool, but that's a whole different route of what I'm talking about. So if we were just talking about 3 movies, which they love to do Spider-Man movies in, this is technically the 4th Tom Holland movie, but if you think about it, it's kind of like a reboot. So it's like 1 out of 3. So if they were to do 3, I would do it like this. Brand New Day, set up Spider-Man. Second, bring in the Sinister Six. Have it be crazy, chaotic, just absolutely insane that Spider-Man even made that out of alive. And then at the end of the movie, just show how freaking tough he is. How when his back's against the wall, that he can do it. Like Spider-Man is not a force to be reckoned with. And then for the 3rd movie, do Venom and let it be personal. Let it, everything that makes him feel strong, make it reverse and flip away from him. Have him feel the strength of the Venom suit and then lose it and then feel like he loses himself again. And then those movies where he found himself in Brand New Day, and then in the second one he kind of finds himself again, but he finds this new strength. He's kind of like reminiscing on all that, and then it's like boom, bam, you gotta fight Venom now. And then like he like conquers Venom. That would just be so sick. I don't think anybody made it this far in the video, but if you did, let me know if you like that idea. I think that's kind of a good idea. There's a lot of ways, like I said, you can go with Spider-Man. Like you could do the whole, what they did with Endgame in the MCU, literally just for Spider-Man. Like, I think that's so true that it's almost obvious, like that is like a good idea. All right, next on the list, we have Spider-Man 2002. This is one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. I love the Sam Raimi movies. I love the artwork. I love the beginning of the movie. I love the end of the movie. I love the middle of the movie. This genuinely is an S tier movie. And look, when I drop it, tell me this isn't just satisfying because it's just so correct. Oh, haters are so mad right now because this is just so correct. All right, next we have Spider-Man Homecoming, another reboot of a Spider-Man franchise that did a lot right. Not as nostalgic for me because I saw it when I was older, but I love this movie. I could see it an A, honestly. Like, the thing is if you're a kid growing up now, I bet you anything that this is an S tier movie. And this is my Spider-Man. I like Tom Holland, low-key, is probably my favorite Spider-Man. I love his movies, and I think he's an amazing actor. He's like Timothée Chalamet. He's got love for the game. It seems like he acts because he loves the art form, and not like he's just trying to get a check. Like he wants good movies and he wants that like legacy. I don't know the guy. I'm just the guy with the red beanie on YouTube named VXROSE, but I think Tom kills it. All right, now we have Spider-Man Tobey 2002. I think it got confused because it's probably on here twice. Yeah, it's on here twice. So we're going to go ahead and skip number 44 and let's go to number 45, No Way Home. This is the second out of the Spider-Man movies. This came out in 2021. Sorry, I'm having trouble finding it. Found it. Okay, so Mysterio in this movie was awesome. Mysterio was just a vibe, honestly. I thought it was great. I thought it showed. You know what's really interesting about this movie that I just realized is that the glasses were great power, and Peter needed to learn responsibility by not just giving out that power. Like he needed to have responsibility for his actions. Now that is actually really cool. I love these movies. This is another A. The Tom Holland series. Could any of the Tom Holland movies out so far be below A? Oh, wait. What was the name of the second one? Wait, the name of the second one was like Far From Home. Wait, then that was the second one. This is the third one. This is still an A. I'm not going to lie. This is still an A, but I have to explain to you why this is an A. And this is a simple, very simple reason. And the reason for it is I've never seen Spider-Man fight the way he does in that movie. Literally the end when he's fighting against the Green Goblin in live action, he like does like Spider-Man PS4 on him. He like throws him up and like spits on the ground and punches the ground. It was like, holy crap. Like this is like Spider-Man fighting at his potential. Like he's not just like, I'm Spider-Man, I'm going to beat you up with my fist and like maybe like pull you over towards me. No, he was like, I'm literally going all in. Like you're going to get it. And I love this movie. I've heard some complaints about this movie. I've had friends say that this movie does nothing. And at the end of the movie, you could have no movie and the universe would still progress. But does that mean it's a bad movie? Because it does everything it needs to inside itself. And I also don't agree with that point completely, because at the end of the last movie, everybody knew who Peter was. And at the end of this movie, nobody knows who Peter was, which allows the next movie to be great on a bigger scale. And inside the movie, you know, you have all these crossovers that we thought never could be possible. This movie, the third movie, really made me believe that Venom will be in the MCU. I really do think it's a matter of time until we see Venom. I mean, it just makes sense. People want to see it. The money will be there. They'll figure out how to make it happen. All right, following up with that, we got the first Thor movie coming in at, gosh, this list is so long, 46, and it was made in 2011. I really like this movie. The thing that's really interesting about Thor, this is a mediocre movie, honestly. The thing that is really interesting about Thor is I feel like every movie that he's in, he's portrayed completely differently. And I don't know if that's a Chris Hemsworth thing or a director thing, but it seems like the whole vibe of the movie is different. I mean, compare this movie to Ragnarok. It's so different. Can't wait to rank Ragnarok. Oh my God, we get to do Love and Thunder next. Love and Thunder, I do not like the end of Love and Thunder. I think it's a little too childish. I think the beginning, how it like questions gods, is a little... I like it, but I don't think it hit the way it should have. I think they were kind of scared to portray that point, so they didn't go into it more. So I would say this is actually a C, because I mean, like, Thor's better than Love and Thunder. I thought there was a really cool movie or part in that where he does like a double sidekick. It was a fun movie. Like when I watched it for the first time in theaters, I thought it was fun, but it wasn't like, oh my God, like I never watched it again, and I never was like, oh my God, I want to watch Thor Love and Thunder again. Am I right? All right. Now we have Ragnarok. I deadass cannot find Ragnarok on this list, so we're just going to grab a second Love and Thunder that's on here for some reason, and we're gonna go ahead and throw Ragnarok. Ragnarok is known as the best Thor movie, and I feel like a lot of people would put it in A because of like the Battle Hulk and the Thor, but I think it's B. I think it's really cool moments, but at the same time, it's like I feel like the whole purpose of the movie was to have those little moments, and instead of being like a movie that had like a bigger purpose. Like I don't know, like it showed the Hulk when we were like, oh, what is the Hulk doing? But like that's just one moment. You see what I'm saying? You see how like that's like coming back to each other? Like it's just it's a movie with good little moments, but nothing really crazy spectacular. All right, we're going to skip over number 49, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, because we already ranked it, and we're going to go to number 50. And then that is Avengers Infinity War, number 50. Avengers Infinity War came out in 2018. And if you've made it this far, then you must care about my opinion. And this is the real reason why you're here. These adventure movies are literally insane. In my opinion, Infinity War left me in a place that no movie has ever left me before. And Infinity War is an S tier movie. It starts really interesting. It just gets straight into it. And then the whole movie is so quick and so fast, and it doesn't feel overpaced. But by the end of the movie, you're like, holy crap, I just watched an entire movie? And you're just awe, which I can't say about another Avengers movie. Going into the next Avengers movie, Age of Ultron. This might be the most underrated Avengers movie of all time. I love this Avengers movie, and I love the way it starts. I love the dynamic between Captain America and Iron Man being like, Captain America be like, hey, Iron Man, watch your language. We got to support being good. And Iron Man's like, I'm a badass. And then like at the end of the movie, they're all like united. It's just awesome. And Ultron is so cool. If you've seen What's Next, and where he gets all the Infinity Stones in like his noggin and he becomes like Super Ultron, I love that. I would love to see that in live action. And I think What's Next and the memes that still get created from that just show that like we want that. Like the Watcher was a big thing in that, and the Watcher gets memed a lot. And I want to see more of the Watcher. I do. But I need that Ultron. That's just that powerful. Like, if we're not going to do that with the timelines, then what was the whole point of introducing these timelines? All right. Yeah, we finally made it. We're at the big behemoth. Endgame. Avengers Endgame was a very satisfying end to an amazing genre of movies. And I think the saddest thing about Endgame is that it had to end. After Endgame, it was like, what's next? And we suffered trying to figure that in real time with the Russo brothers. We're also trying to figure that out. And I just really wish we would have like had that a little bit more figured out in the future, because Endgame was just, I mean, it was amazing. I mean, it was a long movie. I will say I was referring to this earlier, but Endgame did feel the whole 3 hours. I was like, at the end of the movie, I was like, okay, I've been sitting in this movie theater for a long time, and I'm gonna need this movie to end. I'm not gonna lie. Like I would maybe I worded that wrong. Like I could say that, and then like literally like 2 seconds later, Captain America picked up the freaking Mjolnir, and I was like, oh my god, it was amazing. But I love Endgame. Endgame's S tier. Couldn't see it anywhere else realistically. Wow, I have more in S tier than in any other category. Please tell me how that happened. Like we were literally stacked down here, and now, honestly, this is pretty even, but I am genuinely shocked that S tier has this many freaking movies in it. Like obviously Lego Batman needs to be here, but to the rest, no, I'm just kidding. They all have their place there for sure. Now, if you think any of these movies should be in S tier that are an A down, please let me know. Let me know why. Honestly, I'm more interested why you think they should be in S tier than just the movie itself. So please tell me why. All right, now with the last Avengers movie ranking, I think I said this on the first one. Wow, S tier is now 2 layers because it needs the Avengers movie. The Avengers movie is genuinely like redefined what a movie could do. It took everybody from their own movies and brought them in the one movie. And now it's like, that's like golden peak if you can do that. And DC saw that and tried to do that, like tried to replicate that really, really fast with the Justice League. And it didn't work because they didn't spend the time to flesh out this world the way that the Avengers did. It just had their people. It didn't seem like it was like the plan, or it didn't seem right. But this was right. All right, Venom fans, we're back to you. Let's see if you're still watching. I heard this movie was really good, but I've only watched bits and parts from it. I guess I haven't seen every movie. I've seen enough bits and parts of this that I've probably seen over 50%, and you always round up, so I guess that means I've seen this movie. But from what I've seen, I thought there was cool moments, but the movie just wasn't that great. I mean, hate me. Hate me. If you're still watching at this point, like, there's no ways people are still watching. All right, now we have the second Black Panther movie, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. This movie sucked. I really don't even have anything to say more about it. It came out in 2022. It's not really a good movie. I think it just tried to like find a target audience, but like, I don't know. It just felt like a marketing. Maybe it felt different for other people. I'd really love to hear why you think so, honestly. All right, now we have Wonder Woman. This movie actually made me kind of fall in love with this version of Wonder Woman, because before then I didn't really care for her, but this movie fleshed her out and I was like, holy crap, I would watch another Wonder Woman movie. And then I think we maybe got one more, if I'm mistaken, but it was a decent movie. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is redefining movies, but I thought it was a decent movie. All right, now we're talking about redefining movies again. This S tier is about to get a whole lot thicker. We have the first, literally top 3 superhero movies of all time. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This is amazing. The thing I love about these movies is how they tell story with animation and how they tell story with color. So I told you guys, I went to college for VFX and I learned the art of the moving picture. And one thing that really stuck out to me was the comparisons between the 3D world and real life. And one thing really, really, really sticks with me, and that's the way that light works. So really simply, light is like a spectrum. You have red on this end, very, very slow. Sports cars are made red, so when they zoom on by, here I got a red beanie. When it zooms on by, your head can track it really well because of the slow wavelengths. But blue, I have a blue light next to me, but you take blue and you wave it, and it's actually a little bit harder to see because I wasn't waving it as fast as probably as waving my head. So that might be a bad example, but it's harder to see because it's so fast. It's so fast. And when you see colors, they also give you these emotions. And red, mad, yellow, happy, green, good or go. Blue is more like your friend or trustworthy even. And I really loved the feeling that this movie gave me from a visual standpoint. I feel like I could watch this movie with no sound and I could still feel those emotions, which is really hard to do. Sound is a lot of the emotion that you feel, like in video. Like, one thing that people forget a lot is that, like, a video, half of what you're watching for most people is just the video itself. The other half of the experience is the sound. And if you don't like the sound in the video, you are really quickly to leave. Actually, more quickly to leave than if the video looks bad. All right, we got to skip Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. All right, and then we're on to the second Shazam movie. All right, the second Shazam movie introduced way too many people and was really not that good. That's an easy D. And then we have Spider-Man Far From Home, which is the second one that I was glazing earlier, which I do believe is an A movie. And then we have Deadpool and Wolverine. This was a good movie that, what number is this? This is number 62. Deadpool and Wolverine genuinely was like, wow, superhero movies are so back. Like, we were in such a rut before this movie, and then this movie was like, bam, it's freaking possible again. Which I'm not seeing it on here, but that was a great movie. Why is that not on here? Why do I have that on my list? We're gonna take this Deadpool. I don't know why. I think it's just portrayed as this version of Deadpool. So we're gonna take this Deadpool, and I think it's an A tier movie. I genuinely do. Wow, this list is looking a little top heavy, but I'm just being honest. I promise you, I'm just being honest. And I know you guys agree with me. All right, the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie we already ranked, so we're gonna skip that one. 63. All right, 64, we already ranked Wonder Woman. 65, we have X-Men Apocalypse. This is one of those movies, I actually always forget that the X-Men movies like even exist, but I think they're better if you watch the X-Men movies like a marathon. Like if you watch all the X-Men movies at once, I think it's way better than if you just watch them like one at a time. And I know there's some really old X-Men fans out there. I like, if you're talking about collecting old comic books, like people are always talking like, oh, like I collect like these Marvel or Superman, but like one of the most collected comic books of all time before the movies got popular were the X-Men. Like everybody wanted the X-Men comic books. And then, like I said, when the movies got popular, people were like, oh, like I need the Marvel ones now. But the X-Men, we're going to skip that one. All right. Spider-Man 3. I really like this movie. I think it is a good movie. It does a lot. This is the one where Venom and Sandman fight at the end, and it's really nostalgic to me. I really can't put it below A for nostalgic reasons alone, but the Tobey Maguire just absolutely killed all of these movies, his acting, and I love the way Venom is portrayed. Like I still feel like to this day, like if you're thinking about the way that Venom should be portrayed in a live action movie, you have an amazing reference to go off of, in my opinion. And I think the new Venom movie shows the way that Eddie Brock should be portrayed more. And it's like, I feel like we have to see more of an evil side of Venom, like more of a, instead of like anti-hero, more like villain, which is like really interesting. All right, and then we have The Dark Knight, which is my favorite Christopher Nolan film of all time. I absolutely love The Dark Knight. Huge Batman fan. This is just going to have to flood up in the S category. Still, like I said, we're looking very, very top heavy down there. So let's go with Spider-Man 2. I think this is talking about The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Oh, this is 2004. I'm going to rank both of them real quick. Oh, I accidentally put, hold up. I put the wrong one. So this one there, and then Spider-Man 2. This is the one with Doc Ock. Sorry, I put the wrong one. This is the one I was talking about, 3, but this is Spider-Man 2. This is the one with Doc Ock. Also a great one, potentially S tier, but I could see it in A, so it goes in A. And then finally, we're going to do TASM 2, which is also another A. All right, so let me show you guys the tier list real quick, and maybe have to move some things around if we need to. But this is looking pretty accurate. Not gonna lie, this looks pretty good. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.